Okay, hey, Damon, I told you I would make you a quick video describing what the AAR situation looks like so far. It's pretty rough, but you'll get the general idea here. There is just an HTML file. It's kind of a standalone web app on the server. That standalone web app lists all the available worlds that are on the server as well as the running worlds. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just sort of connect to a world that's not running, so it'll launch the world just for me to join it. And I have a little AAR test demo here. So you'll see that world is going to load, and immediately you'll start seeing all the network traffic popping into the network messages panel here. We're recording all the network messages. Because the way the VWF is structured, the network messages can be used to reconstitute the state at any point. But also over here on the recorded actions page, a bunch of data is filling in about the actual computed state of the environment, and that's really useful for playback. I'll show you in a second. So we're in the environment. Normally, I wouldn't be controlling this environment. Somebody else would be, and I'd have joined a running world, but it's easier for this demo for me just to kind of join the environment and play. In this case, I'm playing this environment, and the data capture portion of this is actually independent from the preview I'm seeing up here. And of course, we would expect that in the real world, some other person would be driving this vehicle. But I'm just going to move around a little bit. You'll also see we're taking periodic snapshots of the state of this environment. Those can be used to reconstitute this world at any point. This tool currently allows you to reset the state in real time while other people are playing, but that's probably something that you got to think through the real ramifications of that. So we're taking a bunch of state snapshots. Let me go over here to network messages. You'll see there's not a lot going on, some input. I've actually got some toggles down here to show ticks and user motion. So this is actually all the data that you see flying around here. Still a pretty small amount of information for the network socket. One thing that turns out to be an issue is, there's enough data flying around with the computed simulation state that I really can't do a running list of tabs like this or list of entries like this. Just drawing the HTML for all of that becomes prohibitive. But we're actually recording a fair amount of stuff. You'll notice I'm down here in in record mode. I'm going to flip over to review mode now. What happens when I go into review mode is we kick the preview window, which is just an iframe, over to a blank environment, and then we take the zero state snapshot, whichever the earliest one is, and sort of res that into the world. So we now are looking at that simulation as of state snapshot 1. I can also, at this stage, go ahead and load the different snapshots at different points in time. That's snapshot 8. Let me go back to snapshot 1. And that is restoring the full simulation state. I also have a playback function here where, using all the recorded data and using the network messages and using these red bars represent the kind of recorded states, I can seek to any point in time. So you'll see we recorded 116 seconds of data. And I can now move, I'm just dragging this slider to just basically replay all the simulation data. You can see we've got a little visualization here of how much data is stored at any particular point in time, and I still have some things to work out, like if I seek this thing really quickly, you see those boxes didn't go back. That just really has to do with how I'm interpreting the data in memory. If I drive back slowly and walk over it, you can see them go back to where they should be. I'm treating all of the information that is stored in memory just exactly like one would treat a set of keyframes with interpolation in an animation system. It very much is pretty much an animation. And I can scrub it back and forth, and then I can go look at this from different viewpoints and such. In the future, we'll be adding the feature to be viewing this from the point of view of several different teammates or what have you. So that's it. I mean, like we said, the VWF architecture lends itself pretty well to this sort of data capture. Obviously, I can play. We can play it in slow motion, rewind, and all that stuff. It really is pretty flexible in that way. Currently, I'm actually recording all of the simulation data. So, at any point in time, I have every changing property of every entity ever. That is super useful because you can export that. Hit export data, and you'll see it just wants to save it as run.json. I'm going to hit cancel. you can save out all that data so that some other system which doesn't have access to the engine itself and so cannot reconstitute the simulation state from the snapshots and the network traffic can still access the computed simulation state because we've recorded every change. That's going to be useful for like after the fact analysis, because otherwise you have to run the whole engine to figure out, at any point in time what's the state of the world. That giant list will just tell you. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I think it checks a lot of the boxes. It's not perfect, and there's a lot of work to be done, but yeah, there you go. Recording all the data, saving it out, able to scrub through it and look at things at different points in time.